When it comes to international air traffic, Dubai Airport isn't just cruising, it's soaring ahead of the pack. In 2024, Dubai International retained its title as the world's busiest international hub, handling a staggering 92.3 million passengers.
Its flagship airport is running out of space. Once the engine of the city's rapid rise, it's now hemmed in by the very urban growth it enabled, straining gates and runways to their limits. In response, Dubai is making a $35 billion bet on a massive desert airport project once dismissed as a failure. This bold shift could redefine not only the city's future, but also global air travel logistics as Dubai prepares for unprecedented scale. Dubai International Airport's capacity crisis. Dubai International Airport, often called DXB, has earned global prestige as the busiest international airport with a record-breaking 92 million passengers in recent years. Its success is deeply intertwined with Dubai's meteoric rise as an international hub, connecting virtually every corner of the world with just one stop. Yet, beneath this achievement lies a mounting problem. The airport is bursting at the seams. Every gate is in use, every runway slot is fiercely contested, and the airport's physical footprint cannot expand due to the city growing all around it. This means DXB is no longer just a bustling airport. It has become a concrete cage trapped within the urban sprawl that depends on it. The core issue isn't merely terminal crowding, but airfield saturation. DXB covers approximately 2,900 hectares, a sharp contrast to airports like Denver International, which spans over 13,000 hectares. Surrounded by historic districts to the north and dense residential and commercial developments to the south and east, the airport has nowhere to grow. Building a third runway or expanding to another terminal would require demolishing massive parts of an already expensive city infrastructure. These physical constraints impose a hard ceiling on DXB's growth potential. For years, Dubai managed this congestion through impressive operational efficiencies and by upgrading aircraft size. The introduction of the Airbus A380, the world's largest passenger plane, allowed the airport to move more people per landing slot. Emirates became the largest A380 operator globally, effectively packing passengers into fewer flights. However, the industry's evolution has rendered this strategy obsolete. The A380 is out of production, and airlines are shifting focus to smaller, faster aircraft that require more frequent takeoffs and landings, which only adds pressure on the limited runway capacity. Adding to this complexity is FlyDubai's fleet expansion with Boeing 737s, which, unlike the super jumbos, occupy a full runway slot but carry a fraction of the passengers. This trend puts further strain on DXB's two runways, pushing the airport to a brink estimated by industry consultants to lie between 115 and 120 million passengers. Dubai is rapidly approaching that theoretical maximum, expected to be reached within just a few years as demand continues to surge. This is not just a slowdown in growth. It signals a failure to meet future passenger volumes altogether. The stakes are enormous. If Dubai wants to reach its long-term goal of serving 250 million passengers annually by 2050, remaining at DXB is mathematically and physically impossible. The airport's saturation threatens the entire Emirates' economic engine, which relies heavily on global connectivity. The city's very model of success, connecting the world through one hub, faces erosion if capacity constraints are not resolved. This predicament demands a solution that goes far beyond mere expansion or efficiency improvements. Despite the urgency, the truth is that no meaningful expansion is feasible inside the existing airport's footprint. The city's growth, once a sign of progress, has now become the very obstacle to future aviation ambitions. It's a paradox where success creates its own barrier, and the question becomes whether Dubai can innovate its way out of this spatial trap or must look elsewhere. The airport that symbolized Dubai's global ascent is running out of runway, literally and figuratively. Hints of an alternative have existed for decades, but previous efforts to address this crisis fell short, leaving a dormant giant waiting in the wings. DXB is operating at its maximum, but the next chapter in Dubai's aviation story requires a departure from tradition. The solution lies not in trying to stretch the current airport any further, but in shifting Dubai's entire aviation ecosystem to a new frontier. Yet making that move is a gamble loaded with risk, complexity, and a price tag measured in billions. Before unveiling that solution, it's important to understand the next major piece of this puzzle. Al-Maktoum International Airport, also known as DWC. Its story holds the clues to why Dubai must now make a bold and decisive transition. First, though, we need to explore how this vast new airport came to be, why it was left underused for so long, and what changed to bring it back into the spotlight. As Dubai grapples with the physical limits of its original airport, the focus inevitably shifts toward Al-Maktoum, which has quietly waited in the desert, poised for a future that now feels closer than ever. The rise and stall of Al-Maktoum International. The vision for Al-Maktoum International Airport dates back nearly 20 years, when Dubai sought to build the world's largest aviation hub. This ambitious plan was intended to accommodate a staggering 160 million passengers and 12 million tons of cargo annually, far beyond what DXB could ever handle. The airport opened for cargo operations in 2010 and began limited passenger service in 2013. Initially, it embodied Dubai's bold, forward-looking approach, a desert marvel designed to become the beating heart of a global aerotropolis. The 2008 global financial crisis brought severe damage to Dubai, which forced the government to reduce construction work while postponing full airport development plans. The DWC operations experienced decreasing urgency because economic conditions became uncertain. The airport operated in a state between functioning and non-functioning for over 10 years because it served only cargo flights, private jets, and temporary flights during DXB maintenance. The airport turned into the most expensive aircraft parking area during COVID-19 instead of functioning as a busy passenger terminal. The Fifth Element-style aerotropolis vision, which led to this period of dormancy, raised doubts about its feasibility because some people believed it went beyond reasonable limits. The DWC airport became a ghost town, which began operating as a result of excessive predictions regarding Dubai's future aviation growth and its capacity to handle large-scale projects. The operation of two main airports within a single city presents substantial difficulties because airlines prefer to avoid using multiple airport facilities, which creates problems for aircraft movement and airport-level operations and for passenger travel between terminals. The DWC airport remained undetermined as the main airport because the airport system required complex operations to function properly. Airlines refused to operate two hubs which existed 30 miles apart because they faced both economic and logistical difficulties. The idea of transferring all Emirates and flydubai operations to DWC at once presented a daunting challenge. The process required airlines to shift their entire operations because it involved complete changes to all aspects of their worldwide operations. The need for capacity expansion at DXB Airport caused operational expenses, which led to all decisions being postponed until the cost analysis was complete. DWC continued its operation as a strategic asset while waiting for suitable operating conditions despite its reluctance to do so. The airport needed a re-evaluation because new air travel patterns developed after the pandemic and demand for air travel increased. The Dubai government decided to stop existing operations by April 2024 because they needed to bring DWC's complete vision to life using 128 billion dirhams, which equals 35 billion US dollars. The new master plan for Al-Maktoum is unlike any airport project seen before. The airport will include 5 parallel runways, which will allow both simultaneous and independent operations to overcome common operational issues that affect multiple runway airports throughout the world. The development will include 400 aircraft gates, more than double the capacity of the world's current busiest hub, Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson, and target a staggering 260 million passengers yearly, nearly tripling DXB's current throughput. The actual operational requirements of Emirates and flydubai have created a need that needs to be fulfilled through this theoretical expansion. The extensive redevelopment establishes Al-Maktoum of Al-Maktoum as a modern aviation center. The Dubai authorities now recognize their previously abandoned and unproductive project as the only remaining option for sustaining their aviation strength. The question asks about the DWC takeover schedule, which includes detailed information about the takeover process. Before Dubai can fully embrace this transformation, it must confront the physical realities that made DXB's expansion impossible, the city itself restricting any further growth at the existing airport site. Limitations of runways and urban encroachment. Dubai International Airport's inability to expand stems largely from the city's rapid development enveloping the airport grounds. Urban growth to the north includes the historic Deira district, while the south and east are packed with commercial and residential areas. This dense buildup creates a physical barrier that no engineering innovation can overcome when it comes to adding runways or terminals. Expansion here would require demolition on an unprecedented scale, involving billions of dollars in existing infrastructure and displacing large swaths of the city. DXB currently operates only 2 runways, which, although highly efficient, have a finite limit in how many aircraft they can service daily. The close proximity of urban zones means there isn't the critical separation distance normally needed to add independent runways capable of increasing flight operations. Many other megahubs benefit from vast open land around them, such as Denver or Atlanta, but Dubai simply does not have this luxury. The city's airplane slots are squeezed tight within these constraints. During peak traffic waves, the airport cannot simply slot in additional landings or takeoffs without causing severe delays or risking safety. This saturation limits the number of flights, stalling the airport's ability to serve more passengers and accommodate new airlines or new routes. Ultimately, it forces airlines to focus on using fewer, larger aircraft like the Airbus A380 to move more passengers within existing runway allocations. Yet this bigger plane strategy has reached its limit, partly because aircraft production has shifted to more versatile twin-engine wide-bodies such as the Airbus A350 and Boeing 787. These newer aircraft serve evolving route structures favoring higher frequency and more point-to-point connections, which require more runway slots, not fewer. The urban bottleneck at DXB thus constrains Dubai's ability to adapt to the future of aviation demand. Another urban challenge is the intertwining of the airport with Dubai's super-urbanized fabric, including roads, rail lines, and commercial zones. Infrastructure expansions that might ease passenger flows within terminals are limited by space. Even parking, ground transport, and cargo facilities operate close to capacity. The stadium effect of the airport no longer being on a blank desert canvas heightens operational complexity. The city's physical growth has literally closed the door on any hopes for a third runway, a feature that many other major airports use to boost capacity exponentially. Adding a 4th terminal or any large-scale passenger facility would require massive demolition and rebuilding of existing neighborhoods. In effect, DXB is boxed in, an airport imprisoned by the success of the city it helped grow. This tight space problem wasn't always so dire. Early on, Dubai had ample room to build freely. But decades of rapid urban expansion, combined with the airport's own growth, have led to this point where no meaningful expansion is possible within the current site. The land Dubai needs simply isn't available. And this hard boundary means the airport must either accept capacity limits or move entirely. As DXB's growth hits this immovable ceiling, the urgency to activate Al-Maktoum's massive capacity becomes undeniable. Dubai's aviation future depends on overcoming the physical confinement that defines its flagship airport today. The city's skyline may be soaring, but for its airport, the only way forward is southward, into the desert. This monumental spatial challenge is the catalyst that forces Dubai into its next chapter, a bold, $35 billion relocation gamble predicated on the promise of limitless skyward expansion. Changing industry trends, impacting capacity. The aviation industry is evolving rapidly, and these shifts are exerting fresh pressure on Dubai International Airport's already strained capacity. Where the past decade emphasized fewer, larger aircraft like the Airbus A380 to maximize passengers per slot, today's trend favors high-frequency flights with more versatile, smaller, wide-bodied jets. Twin-engine planes like the Airbus A350 and Boeing 787 have become central to this strategy, enabling airlines to offer more direct, point-to-point connections rather than relying on massive hub-and-spoke models. This increase in flight frequency means vastly more takeoffs and landings are necessary to move the same or even greater numbers of passengers. FlyDubai's growing fleet of Boeing 737s pushes this trend even further. These single-aisle jets occupy a runway slot every time they take off or land, just like larger planes. But they carry far fewer passengers, so more flights are needed to meet demand. As these smaller aircraft play a larger role alongside Emirates' wide-body fleet, the strain on DXB's limited runway slots grows exponentially. This fundamentally disrupts the delicate balance that allowed the airport to operate efficiently for years. Efficiency gains that squeezed every ounce of capacity from DXB's 2 runways have reached their limits. Theoretical estimates put the airport's maximum passenger throughput around 115 to 120 million annually, beyond which overcrowding and delays will worsen significantly. Yet current passenger projections suggest Dubai will hit that ceiling within just a few years, making it a pressing and inevitable challenge. The nature of air travel itself is changing, and DXB simply isn't built for this new reality. The previous model centered on packing passengers into large, infrequent flights. Now, the market demands flexibility, speed, and connectivity. Passengers want more direct routes, shorter layovers, and more options, needs perfectly matched by modern, fuel-efficient twin jets and faster turnaround times. The airport must handle more planes, more often, creating a need for greater runway availability and gate space. This shift also aligns with broader industry trends aiming to reduce emissions and costs by using smaller, more efficient aircraft rather than older, less fuel-conscious super jumbos. Airlines worldwide are phasing out A380 production, with Airbus ceasing the program entirely. This retirement removes a cornerstone of DXB's strategy to increase passengers per flight and replaces it with a more dynamic but capacity-hungry model. The implications for Dubai are profound. Maintaining a dominant global hub role means embracing these new aircraft and network models. But DXB's physical constraints limit opportunities to upgrade or add runways and gates, creating a bottleneck incompatible with future fleet plans. Emirates and FlyDubai's growing aircraft orders include over 800 jets scheduled for delivery, requiring infrastructure capable of supporting this volume and flight frequency. As passengers demand more diverse and frequent flights, Dubai's airport will confront increasing delays, congestion, and operational challenges if it cannot expand capacity. The ideal solution must accommodate not just passenger volume, but also the shift in how airlines operate. Incremental fixes at DXB may slow the problem, but will ultimately fall short. When considering how Dubai can maintain its leadership in aviation, it's impossible to ignore the massive plan set in motion for the desert airport, Al-Maktoum, crafted to handle this very future with unprecedented scale and innovation. The $35 billion master plan for Al-Maktoum, Dubai's commitment to solving its airport capacity crisis, is embodied in the ambitious master plan for Al-Maktoum International, also known as Dubai World Central or DWC. Approved in April 2024, this plan involves investing approximately $35 billion to transform a half-built desert facility into the world's largest airport. Far from a simple terminal expansion, it's a visionary project designed to redefine global aviation with a facility capable of handling 260 million passengers annually, more than twice the current volume at DXB. Central to this plan are 5 parallel runways, spaced to allow simultaneous independent operations. Most multi-runway airports can never operate all their runways independently because of the required safety distances. DWC's design circumvents this limitation, enabling a dramatically higher number of takeoffs and landings at the same time. This feature alone makes the airport a game-changer in operational capacity. The airport will boast 400 aircraft gates, more than double the gates of Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International, currently the world's busiest airport by passenger numbers. Such scale supports the enormous fleet expansions ordered by Emirates and Fly Dubai, designed to dominate long-haul and regional travel for decades. The infrastructure will accommodate the new generation of aircraft with specialized maintenance hangars and state-of-the-art passenger service facilities. DWC is not just an airport. It's conceived as a fully integrated city node. Plans include massive catering complexes capable of producing 200,000 meals daily, extensive housing for tens of thousands of staff, and comprehensive cargo handling facilities directly linked to the Jebel Ali seaport, creating a seamless air-sea freight corridor critical for Dubai's economy. The airport will be a multimodal transport hub connected to new dedicated expressways and an extended metro system, ensuring efficient movement across the greater metropolitan area. This project recognizes that flying passengers is only part of the equation. Dubai's model hinges on integrating global cargo flows alongside passenger services. Enabling high-volume, rapid freight transport through this multimodal network supports the Emirates' role as a logistics powerhouse and international trade center. The synergy between passenger and cargo operations at this scale is unparalleled. Another remarkable feature is the phased transition strategy. Emirates has indicated it will not split its operations between DXB and DWC. Rather, it plans to remain at Dubai International until DWC is ready to handle the entire airline hub at once. This approach ensures operational continuity, but demands DWC be fully operational on day one, ready to handle 150 million passengers from the very start. Such complexity requires meticulous planning and logistical excellence. The scale of development challenges is staggering. The airport's ground operations, maintenance facilities capable of servicing Airbus A380s and their successors, and all supporting infrastructure must be replicated or relocated some 30 miles south. This is arguably the most complex commercial aviation transition in history, touching everything from airline schedules to catering supply chains and employee housing. The urgency behind this $35 billion gamble is clear. DWC embodies the only practical way for Dubai to break free from its current capacity shackles and secure aviation dominance for the century ahead. Its design directly addresses the shortcomings throttling DXB's growth and aligns with the evolving demands of modern air travel. With the vision and financial backing firmly in place, Al-Maktoum International transforms from a long-delayed plan into the unavoidable future of Dubai's aviation landscape, a future as vast and ambitious as the city itself. As the entire aviation ecosystem prepares for this colossal move, the next challenge lies in navigating the complex logistical hurdles it entails. Logistical challenges of the airport move. Relocating Dubai's entire aviation hub from one airport to another is an undertaking unparalleled in commercial aviation history. The transition involves shifting not just passengers, but a complex ecosystem of ground handling, aircraft maintenance, catering services, and the tens of thousands of employees who keep the daily operations running. Emirates has made it clear that it will not split operations between Dubai International and Al-Maktoum. The move must be a clean all-or-nothing shift. This adds immense pressure for the new airport to be fully operational and flawlessly equipped from day one. Consider the scale of support infrastructure that needs to be replicated or reconstructed 30 miles south. Catering facilities must ramp up to prepare 200,000 meals every day, servicing thousands of flights. Maintenance hangars capable of handling the massive Airbus A380s and the evolving fleet must be in place and staffed. Employee housing and transportation networks must also accommodate the sudden influx of personnel commuting to a more distant location. The entire urban and logistic fabric that supports aviation flows requires comprehensive coordination. The new airport needs to operate smoothly through the complex task of scheduling its hundreds of daily flights. The scheduling system needs to maintain accurate time schedules for all three flight types, which include domestic flights, regional flights, and international flights. Any misstep in transitioning routes or ground services will cause operational delays that result in financial losses. The complete implementation of ground handling operations, security protocols, and customs services requires flawless coordination between all three systems. The move must uphold both Dubai's efficient operations and its luxurious amenities because these two characteristics differentiate Emirates and the city from all other airports worldwide. Passengers demand seamless travel with no interruptions while they receive exceptional service throughout their journey. The logistical challenge requires both mechanical and human resources because it needs different teams to work together through efficient communication methods, training programs, and emergency response strategies. The transport infrastructure system requires expressways and metro extensions to function effectively. Dubai is developing separate highways and new metro lines to establish transportation links between Al-Maktoum and the city center and industrial areas. The investments ensure that passengers, staff, and freight can move through the new travel station without experiencing delays or annoyance. The project will completely transform the city's design to accommodate the airport relocation. The economic stakes of the situation reach critical levels. The airport generates over 25% of Dubai's GDP, which means any operational failure will impact multiple sectors, including tourism, trade, and real estate. The government and operators must perform all tasks perfectly because any delays or cost increases will harm Dubai's international reputation and economic progress. The 10-year deployment plan creates operational difficulties because it requires DXB to maintain maximum efficiency while DWC develops its complete operational capabilities. The hub needs resource management and capacity evaluation to maintain its operational links throughout this time. The airline prevents operational flexibility through its decision to implement a unified hub system, but this choice maintains its brand identity and customer loyalty. As this complex move unfolds, Dubai must also contend with an increasingly competitive regional landscape that threatens its dominance in global air travel, regional competition, and strategic necessity. Dubai no longer holds an uncontested position as the Middle East's premier aviation hub. The region has become a hotbed of ambitious airline growth and airport development, intensifying competition for passengers, cargo, and transit traffic. Saudi Arabia, in particular, has launched Riyadh Air and is constructing King Salman International Airport with the explicit aim of handling 120 million passengers annually by 2030. This new airport is part of Saudi Arabia's broader economic diversification strategy to rival Dubai's air travel supremacy. Meanwhile, Qatar continues to advance its own aviation profile through Hamad International Airport in Doha, regularly winning awards for efficiency, luxury, and passenger experience. Qatar Airways has expanded aggressively, capturing transit passengers and growing market share with top-tier service and state-of-the-art infrastructure. These developments practically border Dubai's airspace and customer base, exerting direct pressure on Emirates and FlyDubai. The increased rivalry between two businesses leads to deeper capacity issues in Dubai because those problems affect the Emirates' ability to sustain its strategic position. The passenger restriction at Dubai International Airport, which results from DXB's operational limits, will cause Dubai to lose market share because customers will prefer to use airports in Riyadh and Doha. Al-Maktoum Airport functions as a base that enables Dubai to defend its territory while helping the emirate to grow its business activities. The announcement shows that Dubai plans to keep its current capacity status, which it will maintain for the next 100 years. Dubai establishes itself as the essential air travel center for the region by constructing extensive new facilities and adopting operational methods that accommodate future aircraft designs and upcoming travel trends. The airport relocation operation becomes more important because it connects with both political and economic aspects of the area. The transformation will create short-term advantages for logistics and passenger convenience, but it will generate longer-lasting effects for tourism patterns, international business relationships, and geopolitical ties. Dubai's aviation strategy creates multiple connections with both national goals and regional power struggles. Dubai needs to construct more advanced facilities because it requires smarter designs, which will use environmentally friendly solutions to make Al-Maktoum grow into a leading airport in its field. The airport relocation project requires urgent attention because it serves as an essential operation that must be completed successfully. Airline fleet configurations and route planning processes face disruption from ongoing competition. Emirates and flydubai need to modify their service offerings because their neighboring hubs compete for identical global traffic. The situation requires additional gates and better turnaround times, and faster passenger movement because only the new airport can provide the necessary solutions. With regional competition looming and complexity mounting, Dubai's leap to Al-Maktoum represents both a challenge and an opportunity to redefine the future of air travel in the Middle East and beyond. The future of Dubai's aviation hub. The move from Dubai International Airport, DXB, to Al-Maktoum International Airport marks a major shift in Dubai's role in global aviation. With a planned capacity of 260 million passengers annually, nearly triple DXB's throughput, the new airport is built not just for growth, but to redefine regional and global connectivity. Al-Maktoum will function as a fully integrated multimodal transport hub, linking air travel directly with sea and land logistics. Its connection to Jebel Ali Port creates a powerful corridor for global freight movement, strengthening Dubai's position in international trade and supply chains beyond passenger travel alone. Passenger operations will undergo significant improvements through upcoming enhancements. The 5 parallel runways at the airports enable multiple flights to operate simultaneously, which results in reduced operational delays through improved flight scheduling capabilities. The new airport terminal provides airlines with 400 aircraft gates, which exceed the capacity of any existing hub, and allows them to expand their route network without facing current infrastructure limitations that restrict their business growth. The system requires complete development through the construction of essential components, which include worker housing and industrial kitchen facilities that have the capacity to produce 200,000 meals daily, and airplane maintenance facilities for servicing the largest operational aircraft. The new airport establishes direct connections to the city through extensive transportation infrastructure, which includes expressways, metro extensions, and cargo corridors. The city will undergo a major transformation because development will shift toward its southern region, which establishes aviation as Dubai's main economic center. The project requires successful execution because any errors during its implementation will lead to project failure. The airport needs to be ready to handle 150 million passengers at full capacity on its opening day in the early 2030s, because Emirates and flydubai will operate their combined services from Al-Maktoum Airport. Dubai is making a $35 billion investment, which it sees as essential for its future aviation development, because it needs to compete against strong regional rivals. Dubai's airport move is a bold response to undeniable limits and fierce competition, reshaping the future of global aviation. The shift to Al-Maktoum marks a new chapter for connectivity, capacity, and economic growth. If you found this insight valuable, please like and subscribe for more deep dives into transformative global business stories.